holiday. Whew. We're coming up on the holidays. We are creeping in. Today we are talking about how to eat healthy when you're going to someone else's house, whether that means you're either on a sugar detox or you're going to someone else's house, but maybe you don't want it to be your treat meal, so you need to eat healthy. So because maybe you already have your planned treat meal, or like you have a date night or something like that you already have planned. We are going to discuss that today and give you all of the details on how to kind of go about doing that. But first, let me quickly introduce myself in case you are new here. And if you are, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Renee Paulson. I am a recovering food and sugar addict. I am also a certified healthy living and nutrition coach, wife, mom of two, white belt in jiu-jitsu, all that fun stuff. So I want to talk today about what we should do, or what to do when we're going to someone's house. Now, whether you're either on a sugar detox or you're not, and I usually run a 10-day sugar detox around the holidays, but usually not around this time. I am right now. I'm doing it in support with a couple ladies, and actually one of the ladies gave me this idea because she went to her mother-in-law's house this past weekend. And now it was a group of the three of us, and we were all on a sugar detox. And she knew that her mother-in-law's house had things in it like Twinkies and ding dongs and like all those things. And a funny story is that the first time I ever tried to do a sugar detox, I actually went to someone's house. It was a trip that we were doing. So it's not like my house was closed or I was going to be going back to my house. It was staying at someone else's house for several days. And I did not plan at all. It was like a complete failure to plan, just like, I'll just walk out the door and hope for the best. When that happens, at least for myself, and when we do that and we leave it to chance without going in with a plan, shit can hit the fan. Let's just put it and tell it like the way that it is. Because you could get there and have the best intentions of being like, yeah, I'm going to hit the veggie tray only. And then pretty soon you're like, ooh, look at that artichoke dip. And you're like, totally in the bowl. And afterwards you're like, ugh, I didn't want to do that. So best thing to do is, number one, make a plan. If you know the person that you're going to the person's house that you're going to, I mean, I would hope so, but also sometimes we go to strangers' houses with guests. So scenario number one, you know the person that you're going to what is wrong with me? I can't even say this correctly today. You know the person's house that you're going to. I think that made sense. Dear Lord, it's going to be one of those days. Put your seatbelts on. All right. You know the person. Let's say, especially if you're friendly with them. And even if you're not. If you have health goals and you have a goal of losing 50 pounds or more, then asking these questions are very appropriate, and you can feel strange about asking them. Let's just put, you're going to feel a little strange about asking them. You're going to feel like a little bit of a weirdo, but does this person's thought of you matter more than your goals? Usually the answer is no. I don't freaking care what those people think about me versus I want to lose weight and get off my high blood pressure medication, right? So ask the person, hey, what food's going to be there? Are you going to have options for me? If you're on a sugar detox, telling that person you're on a sugar detox, that's a double-edged sword, because it also gives you another layer of accountability. Or, hey, I'm eating healthy, not on a diet, okay? Because the diet culture is that you're on a diet for whatever short term that you're on, and then you're done. And that's really where diet culture needs to be moving away from, because it needs to be, this is my healthy lifestyle. If it's not my treat meal, I can't have fried chicken wings. So are you going to have food that I can eat? And if the answer is no, or the answer is like a little shaky, if they're like, well, what do you consider healthy? Or what can you eat? Or, what do you want me to feed you? Or those types of answers go into the category, as well as maybe like you don't know this person at all. Because I don't know if I've ever not known someone and asked what they were going to have at their house. I don't think I've done that. Not yet, at least. I'll let you know when I do. But that, if they are kind of like wishy-washy, or you don't know the person, then we go into this category. And the second category is also a category that you should use for category number 1. This is your emergency backup. This is your like pull string parachute, whatever the hell you want to call it. Go to the store, plan to go to the store ahead of time. Now, if you know on Friday that you're going to go after work to so-and-so's house, whatever, Sally. Why do I like that name? If your name is Sally, I like your name. I use it often. But let's say you know you're going to go to Sally's house on Friday, and maybe you're on a sugar detox, or it's just that you're eating healthy and that's not your treat meal. Your treat meal is planned for Saturday night, right? So you can ask Sally, hey, you going to have some stuff there? Sally's like, meh, 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 meh. Maybe I'll have some ice cream, but maybe I'll put out some carrot sticks for you or whatever they think that you're going to eat when eating healthy. Everybody's so quick when you're eating healthy to label it a diet, because that's just how society is. Mark my words. If you have done this and someone's like, what kind of diet are you on now? Put it in the comments, because I want to hear. But this goes into the category, go to the store. Don't leave it to chance and go to the store right before you head to that person's house. No. Why? Because we could get off of work and be like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I had a day, I ain't in the mood to make an extra stop. I don't want to do it. And if I go to the store, I might buy a pint of ice cream and drink it on the way to Sally's house. It would still be frozen, but you catch the gist. So instead of leaving that up to chance, pack something or hit the store like a day before. Don't do it that day, because leave it to chance to whatever you feel like at that time. Make a plan. Okay, I need to pick up carrots, hummus, crackers, what else? Freeze-dried or like the dehydrated fruit. Those are the packs that I've been having lately. Grapes, fruit is always a really good go-to. Any snacky stuff like that. The more processed, the worse the snack is going to be. So what you want to do, obviously, in the store is get into the habit of grabbing the item, pulling it off the shelf, and flipping it around. And you want to look at the nutrition facts, of course, but also then, pro tip, looking at the ingredients list. The less ingredients, the less processes that food had to go through, the better it is. So if you're looking at a snack and you're like, I wonder if this is healthy, and you turn it around, and there's a ton of ingredients, maltodextrin and cellulose and this and that and the other, put it back. Just save yourself the headache. Because snacks like that, they've gone through so many processes that they turn into basically a refined or a simple carb, and that can hit you like sugar, and that can just defeat the purpose of what you're trying to do, which is you're trying to plan and prepare to eat healthy at so-and-so at Sally's house. So go to the store, grab your snacks. Grab snacks that you know you're going to like. Personally for me, I love red grapes, so that would be a snack that I would bring. Maybe also a little bit of popcorn, but not a lot. That depends on what it is. A veggie tray would be good. Also, if you have stores like Sprouts near you, they have like little chicken salad stuff with pretzels and some grapes and cheese, or they also have chickpea salad, or any little snacks like that are going to be able to fit within what you're trying to do and make sure that you're prepared, and also a snack that you're kind of excited about. If you're going to go to Sally's house and she's going to have pizza and ice cream because y'all are watching movies and you have to sit there and snack on carrots, if you aren't excited about carrots, you might be a little angry and also might be more prone to breaking. So pack snacks that you know you're going to like, that you're going to be interested in, that are going to help keep you satiated, satisfied. That would be making sure you have a good balance of maybe protein, carbs, and fat, but good carbs. We talked about that last week, a good carb versus a bad carb. There is a difference. Carbs are good for you though, but complex carbs that are going to fill you up, give you energy, things like that. So the best way to really go to somebody else's house, especially like I said, if you don't want it to be a planned treat meal, is to prepare, is to ask. And if that person's like, yeah, I'm going to have stuff for you, don't worry. Honestly, I would still pack I would still pack a lunchbox. I mean, if you're going there for the evening, you don't have to pack a ton of stuff. If you're going there for 3 days, I would pack some stuff. I would pack some groceries. Just because you don't know what you're walking into. And if you don't want to be that guest, it's like, well, I need you to get this certain type of peanut butter, and I need you to get me this kind of cracker, and bring it yourself. Just make sure you have it prepared, you have your plan, and you bring it yourself, because it's going to make it so much easier to stay on track, because you could have your goals. And if you didn't prepare, when you're sitting at Sally's house and you're watching a movie and everybody's having pizza and ice cream, or they're, whatever it is, you're more likely to crack, especially in surroundings like that. I actually heard a statistic the other day talking about your group of friends, and if you have, I think it's like 3 overweight friends, that you're like 150 times more likely to be overweight. And it really starts with your friend and your support group. So if you're going to your friend Sally's house and maybe she's not in a healthy way, right? So you have to prepare. You don't know, maybe going there and you preparing will show her maybe how to do it, or not, maybe not. But what you have to focus on is your goals, and is one night derailing worth it? That's another aspect of looking at it. If you're like, I really don't want to do those things. I don't want to be the weirdo. I don't want to ask what they're going to have. I don't want to pack my things. I just don't want to do it. That's fine. You could leave it up to chance. But I will tell you that most likely you end up cracking. And if you go and then you're like, oh, let's say you packed your stuff and you go and you're like, I'm still angry about this. I don't want to ask what they have, but I packed my stuff just in case. And then they have something there that maybe you would want. You could then weigh out, well, if my treat meal is tomorrow and I would rather trade my treat meal for today and eat that pizza or whatever Sally's got today and then eat my healthy meal tomorrow, that's an option to weigh out. But if you already have, again, like a great example would be, what's a good example? Like my husband's birthday is coming up and we have reservations to a restaurant. So I already know that day is a treat meal for me. So whatever else is happening during the week, I know I have this treat meal scheduled. I also know that right before that, I have another possibility of going out to dinner with friends. And I know it's going to be a treat meal for one of my friends, but I have already made the plan that I am not going to sacrifice that and have a treat meal on that day. I already have that plan. The same goes with the restaurant. You can ask where we're going to the restaurant and formulate a plan that way. I also did that last week to make sure that I was on a sugar detox. We went out to dinner with friends, and I actually did. My friend gave me the name of the restaurant, and I was that weirdo that called the restaurant and was asking questions about what meal had, sugar in it or did not have sugar in it, simply because I was on a sugar detox, and that's just how I chose to prepare for that. You don't have to go to that extremes, but making a plan, looking at the menu of the restaurant so you know going in, okay, we're going out with friends. I don't want this to be my treat meal. Here's my plan going in. So it kind of works the same, but definitely going to someone's house, you have sometimes less options, especially around this time of year, the holiday season. I mean, I have done it. This is a judgment-free zone, but it's like we throw caution to the wind, and it's like, yes, I'm going to live off pie and candy and what else? Mashed potatoes. Oh, mashed potatoes. But, we leave it to chance, and this is the time of year, hopefully, that we're all getting back together. I mean, last year we weren't allowed to, and it's been rough. So everybody's going to get back together, and going into those get-togethers with a plan, like I said, especially at someone's house, because you will have less options than, let's say, if you go to a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, worst case scenario, you could have a salad, which is also worst case, not horrible, but if you go to a restaurant, you can at least formulate a plan and say, okay, here's what I'm going to eat. But when you go to someone's house, like I said, you can have less options. And especially if it's someone familiar's house that maybe Like a good example, I always give examples of myself just because that's how I feel I learn best, and then put it out to everybody else. But like when I go to my mother's house, the first, like, it's like a habit. It's like I don't even think about it, but the first thing I would do would be to just go right to the pantry just to see if she had any cool snacks, anything I wanted to try. Even if I was hungry, not hungry, did not matter. And so going to my mother's house again requires preparation. I know that I need to make sure I prepare and I'm mindful about what I'm eating and when I'm there, so that I can keep my health goals in mind and stay on track. So there is no shame in asking, like, hey, what are you going to have there? I just want to make sure I'm going to have food to eat. I did that also for many years when I was plant-based, and that's becoming more normal nowadays, especially like food allergies and things like that. Like if you want to just say something, like I'm not a fan of making something up, but also make something up. If you feel awkward, just be like, yo, I'm allergic to something. I don't know, but I think saying that you're putting your health goals first really takes people off guard, and they start asking questions and they start being more, sometimes you'll find like very inquisitive or very like wondering what you're doing, and that gives you a layer of accountability, but also maybe you can inspire somebody else. You never know. But what you need to do is to make sure that you take care of yourself in situations like that. Go in with a plan and get the food. Bring it with you just to support your plan. That way you show up with a bag of food. You already told people I'm on a sugar detox or I'm eating healthier. This is not my treat meal. I'm going to be eating healthier. You show up with your bag of food. There's your accountability number one, because you already stated it. It was like a talk, tell, tackle. My son's jujitsu, they do talk, tell, tackle for like against bullies. But I was telling him, I'm like, that's so good for food. Like talk, tell, tackle. Basically talk about what you're struggling with. If you struggle with food and sugar addiction, I feel that there is absolutely no shame in that. And I love to tell people and educate them about that. When I tell people if I'm struggling with something right then, or if I'm on a sugar detox, I make sure, like when we went out for dinner the other night, it's like on a sugar detox. Nobody even really paid any attention to me. And I don't even know if anybody heard me, but it gave me that layer of accountability. And then tackling that task. How am I going to keep myself accountable? How am I going to keep myself in my lane and on track to where I want to go? And just making the choices and supporting yourself through that. So number one, make a plan, stick to the plan, support the plan, making sure you're going and you're getting your snacks so that you're not going to be there like drooling watching everybody eat pizza, which is like an awful experience if you don't have anything to satisfy you or that you're excited about. So I hope that you found that helpful. I found it incredibly helpful. And I also, to be very honest, felt a little strange showing up to other people's houses with a bag of food. But after a while, I was just kind of like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And then as I began to shrink and lose weight, people were like, whoa, what are you doing? And, it became very glaringly obvious that people, instead of thinking I was weird, that they were like, whatever you're doing is working. And I'm like, yes, I am trying my best to make it work. So it will work. You just have to stick to the plan and make sure that you're putting your health goals first and yourself first. Even during the holiday season, when we can, as women, we can put ourselves last, as usual, last man on the totem pole. So take care of yourself and your health goals this holiday season. This Thursday, if you are not a member of the private Facebook group, Warrior Women for Health and Weight Loss, I will put a link in the comments of this Facebook Live, and I will go join that group. My brain went. You can go join that group. It's a completely free group, but I do exclusive lives in there every Thursday. Information in there that you will not see anywhere else, on no other pages, not on my website or anything like that. And I'm also doing a special Facebook Live this Thursday on the 11th at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it's going to be a live Q&A where you can go in, we can say what's up, we can chat, you can ask any questions that you have, anything for the holidays, we can chat, we can go back and forth, It's going to be super, super fun. So make sure that you're a part of that group and that your notifications are turned on so you can jump on live with me Thursday evening and we can do some live Q&A. I'm super excited for that. It's going to be great. I know that if you have questions and you're like, I can't join the live, let's say maybe you work nights or something like that, you can certainly either message me or you can leave those questions in the comments of this video. I am very active here. I will read all of them. And if you submit your question, I will make sure to address that question on Thursday night's live Q&A. Whether you're there or not, I will make sure that I address it and answer it so that if you go back and you have to watch the replay, that you get your questions answered. Other than that, lovelies, I hope that you have an amazing Tuesday. I hope to see you Thursday night. Oh, it's going to be so good. And yeah, other than that, make it a great day. I love you bunches, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.